afternoon. I'm Councilmember Margaret Chin, and thank you all for joining us today and doing your part to keep our community informed on the latest update since Thursday's fire. I know that so many of us are still in shock and wondering what's going to happen next. Your outpouring of support has grounded and encouraged us in this painful time. You know, with the entire city celebrating Lunar New Year, we recognize the urgency to make sure that the needs of the displaced community group and the New Yorkers that they serve are met. My team has been working around the clock to identify alternative spaces for groups, and I'm proud to share the progress. Our friends at the Downtown Community Television Center are providing rehearsals and storage space for the United East Lion Dancers. At PS 130, they had agreed to provide weekend classroom space for the Chinatown Manpower Project's Chinese language classes, and the Chong Park Daycare Center is also offering space for other programs. In addition, the Department for the Aging is working to secure a permanent space for the Chinese Planning Council's Chinatown Senior Center. And in the meantime, CPC's other senior center, Open Door, will serve as an alternative. HE Dancer company is here, and they are moving their administrative office to a partner organization while the city is looking for another location for them. But the city also identifies space available for their performances at 125 Ward Street. Lastly, with regard to the 85,000 archives at the Museum of Chinese in America that are stored there, we have begun the process to retrieve some of them. Nancy Yao Masbeck, the MOCAN president, she's gonna give an update on the process, and we really are grateful to all the agency who's been helping, and they were able to remove some of them today. And lastly, I want to thank all the agencies, all the city agency who has been working so tirelessly to coordinate these efforts to support these groups. The FDNY Commissioner, Daniel Negro, the DCAS Commissioner who's here, Lisette Camilo, the DOB Commissioner, Melanie La Roca, the Deputy Commissioner, Vincent, DEP Commissioner, Vincent Sapri-Ansa, and the OEM Commissioner, Denise Criswell, and our 5th Precinct, Captain Zagrilli, Detective Vincent Chung, and all the officers of NYPD 5th Precinct, and also Commissioner Shea. And I also want to thank Mayor de Blasio and our Speaker Corey Johnson for all their support to really help us supporting these groups, but also in the rebuilding effort. We cannot lose this gem in our community, so we will work very hard to rebuild. And also, I wanted to thank the Department of Cultural Affairs Commissioner, Kathy Hughes, who's here today, and thank you for her support. Now we're gonna have agency representative here who's gonna share some update. First, I wanted to ask Commissioner Camilo from DCAS.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you, Councilmember Chin, both for your leadership and support of this community, but also in the city's response efforts. I also would like to thank our first responders, all of the community leaders who really came out to support this community during this very trying time. I know how much this building means to this community, and Mayor de Blasio has committed the city's help and the city's assistance in making sure that we recover. I did want to provide a few updates regarding the recovery efforts. When Mayor de Blasio was here the day after the fire, he committed that the city would work hand in hand with all of our city agencies, all of our nonprofit partners to ensure temporary space so that every tenant that occupied that building has immediate space to provide their critical operations. Every tenant in that building provides essential services, which is why we are committed to working with them to find them long-term space solutions. But like I said, what we did over the weekend and what we accomplished over the weekend is just a first step. We will continue to work on longer-term solutions. Another urgent need is to assist in the removal of the artifacts on behalf of MOCA. We share the community's concern with preserving as many artifacts that are frankly invaluable to this community and to this city. I'm happy to report that recovery began this morning. We removed approximately 200 boxes of artifacts, and we will continue to do that as well. So, we hope that the efforts continue, and we're hopeful that some of those artifacts that we recovered are preserved.
Thank you, Commissioner. I also wanted to thank Pauline Toole, who's the Commissioner of the City Department of Records and Information Services. Thank you, Pauline. I'm going to ask Nancy to come up to give an update.
Great. This is history on top of history, and as the president of the Museum of Chinese in America, I am so indebted to Councilmember Chin and her leadership in all of this. But everyone, the Department of Records, Pauline Toole, Quinton, everyone in DCAS, the commissioner, this is going to go down with the history of this building, and the PS23 history in 70 Mulberry continues on. And we are so, I cannot tell you the expression of surprise and delight when we were opening boxes this morning. And I have to just applaud the MoCA team. We're a small cultural museum, but the professionalism, the accession, the wrapping of the items, we are so excited to share that it looks like everything we took out of the building this morning is very much salvageable. Very much salvageable. So we had about 25 boxes get immediately sent to Allentown, Pennsylvania, where they will be immediately freeze, stabilized, and then freeze dried. And then we had about 150 boxes sent immediately to the museum, where we have about 25 volunteers who are then just repositioning them, putting them in new boxes. And I cannot thank you from everyone from the 8-year-old who gave me $10 the other day to help with the recovery, up to the mayor, every single person in New York City. We are so, I think what we are is catalyzed by the support and the energy that we all understand that history is important, and not just the broad history, but each of our individual histories. So thank you so much, and thank you, Councilmember Chin, and everyone else who supported. Too many people to list. NYPD, Fire Marshal Kevin, who said he was a history major. Everyone is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. We're just so glad, and we hope that we can get the rest of the artifacts out as soon as possible. Next, I wanted to invite up Wayne Ho, CEO of CPC, talk about our seniors.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Chin. I'm Wayne Ho. I'm the President and CEO of the Chinese American Planning Council. For over 30 years, we have operated the Chinatown Senior Center at 70 Mulberry Street, where every day over 300 seniors come to us for a hot meal, for social services, to take English classes, to get other services that they need to support themselves or their families. We're extremely grateful during this time that despite the unfortunate fire, that has been a great outpouring of support from the community. I especially want to thank Councilmember Chin and her team, as well as the Speaker Corey Johnson. I especially want to thank DCAS Commissioner Lizette Camilo, as well as DIFTA Commissioner Lorraine Cortez Vasquez, for working with us at CPC to ensure alternate sites. We have temporary space set up to serve our 300 seniors at our Open Door Senior Center, which is a few blocks away on Grand Street. This is a good temporary solution, and I also want to acknowledge my team that every morning they are out here with flyers and their cell phones to make sure that there's any senior that we serve who has unfortunately not heard about the fire, that they're passing out information to let them know that they can go to Open Door or they can go to other nearby senior centers that DIFTA and the council member has identified. Moving forward, we are continuing to work with the city to look for permanent space. We need to make sure that any space for a senior center is wheelchair accessible, that it's age friendly, and that it's a nearby location, because most of our senior members who come here live in the surrounding blocks of 70 Mulberry Street. We're once again very thankful for the outpouring of support and donations and contributions to CPC. We know that as a community, we'll continue to pull together and move forward from this tragedy. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. Could I ask Hong Lee from CMP? You sustained, your organization sustained the most damage.
Yeah, unfortunately on the top floors, I was told by the fire marshal that it is going to be, there's no timeline for us when we can get back in. So CMP, we have set up temporary headquarters at the Chung Park Senior Housing Community Room. Chung Park's been very helpful and welcoming for us to start operating. So our staff team has been meeting and planning how to when to resume services. I'm very glad to tell you that we will start our direct service and our training programs for immigrants for jobs and our small business assistance programs Monday. And we have our classes going to be at a local church, and our walk-in services is going to be at Tung Park Senior Housing at 96 Baxter Street. So we are very grateful for the outpour of the community support, and we almost set up an arrangement the night of the fire. We get 98% confirmation already, so it's just logistics that we have to figure out. The equipment that we lost, we will just work along as we progress. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, my name is Hong Shing Lee, HONG-SHINGLEE. I'm Executive Director of CMP Chinatown Manpower Project. We operate on the top 3 floors, job training, job placement, small business assistance program, ESL programs, and Chinese school. Thank you.
Yeah, next I wanted to invite up United East Echo One. They're also located on the 2nd floor. They have a youth program there.
We have a youth program. We occupy, I think, the smallest space. However, United East Athletic Association has no paid staff. Everybody is volunteer. And we raise funds through, and we don't have any government funding support. So it's really a big support from the community that since the fire, we've been receiving a lot of calls asking us how they can donate and how they can help. And Councilwoman Margaret Chin's office really helped us a lot, locating storage space for us because we have a lot of equipment. And because Chinese New Year, we have the Lion Dance parades and we have the Lion Dance performance. And DCTV has been providing the storage space for us, and if we need, we can also have practices there. But right now, we need administrative space. We have nowhere, and we've been meeting in restaurant, meeting in members' home to plan. And also the tenants in the building have been helping us too. CPC, CMP, everybody's been giving us suggestions, directing us to where we can get help, and hopefully we can have more assistance from DCAS as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Echo.
Thank you.
And lastly, I wanted to call up H.T. Chan.
Hi, my name is H.T. Chen. I'm founder of Chen Dance Center. And I like asking Diane, Dang, my associate director in charge with the education area. Our center, what are you talking about?
Hi, my name is Dion Dong, and Chen Dance Center serves about 500 community children every week through our programming on-site and off-site. But this is also the midst of our educational season where we serve about 3,500 to 4,000 students citywide. We have visiting school groups every morning coming to learn about Chinese American history. And the difference between reading about Chinese American history and seeing it come alive before you in the form of dance and music really speaks to the children. And they, this is so important for our community that this living history is imparted to the next generation. And we have been so grateful for the support for Councilwoman Margaret Chin and to the Department of Public Affairs, Hughes,
Yes.
and really it's an amazing support.
Fire department.
The fire department has done an outstanding job working beyond the call of duty to help all of us. And DCAS has been working with us, so we've been also so moved to be getting calls and support from the whole arts community and the Chinese community. So, for us this is very meaningful for the support, but we are determined to restore our programming as soon as possible. We're still looking for studio space in the community, and thank you all.
Thank you, Dion. Next, I'd like to call up the Department of Building Assistant Commissioner. He'll be able to answer questions, and all the commissioners that are here from the city agency will also be able to answer any questions.
you have any information about that man that got rearrested?
Come to the mic.
Oh.
Can you come to the mic?
We don't have anyone from the fire department. Fire department? Yeah. If anybody wants to ask question about the status of the building.
Yeah. So who's coming to the mic to talk?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you tell us your name first of all, sir?
Sure. Yigal Shamash, Y-E-G-A-L, S-H-A-M-A-S-H.
So what is it like inside the building? Give us a sense of what it looks like.
DOB engineers have been here since the fire. They've been here almost every day since last week. We've been working with our sister agencies, DCAS, FDNY, NYPD, FD Marshal's Office. There is some severe and significant fire damage to the building. It is the structural stability of the building right now is not in jeopardy, but overall we do have concerns with the stability of the building long term.
So is the fire isolated to the top floors? Was it water damage on like the first and second floor?
There's damage throughout.
Fire damage throughout.
Yes.
What's the next step, sir, if you would? Like, what do you do now? If it's been shored up, just walk us through what will happen the next few days.
Well, we have to work with our other sister agencies to figure that out, and the investigation is ongoing, and we're still trying to figure out the best course of action.
I know the mayor was talking about maybe you have to build from kind of within keeping the external structure. You have to start all over again. Is there any indication about how to rebuild?
It's still under investigation. We're still trying to figure all that out.
Is it possible that the excuse me, that the building will have to come down if there is structural damage?
It's still, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. That's what our engineers have been looking at, and that's why they're here on a daily basis. They've been walking the building and trying to figure that out, along with DCAS engineers, FDNY fire marshals as well.
Is there any surrounding buildings affected? Is there any surrounding buildings affected? And also, how are they going to affect it during the rebuilding?
There's no damage to any of the adjacent buildings.
During the rebuilding process, are they going to be affected?
Again, that's under investigation.
Can you say which part of the building sustained the most damage?
The upper floors.
And the upper floors are how in the state are they?
There's severe damage to the upper floors.
Did you go into Mocha yourself? Did you see what it was like inside?
Yeah, the DOB engineers have been on site almost on a daily basis, yes.
I just wanted somebody to describe what is it like, because everybody's so worried about the rest of the archives. If you can describe, is it mostly water damage in there specifically?
Specifically, I mean, there's a lot of fire damage on the upper floors and a lot of fire damage and some water damage on the lower floors.
Okay, but in Mocha specifically?
A lot of water damage.
I think right now the most important thing is really working on relocating space for all the community organization and make sure that their services continue. With Mocha, it's day to day. You know, if it's safe to go in, they can go in and retrieve as much as they can. And we're glad that they were able to do that today. And we really want to thank all the agencies for their support. So hopefully the other group who are located on the second floor, if it's safe enough for them to go in, they could take a look and see what they can salvage. Okay. So thank you again, and we'll keep you updated. And thank you to all the New Yorkers who's been showing, you know, their support for all this community organization.
I just wanted to clarify, Margaret, that it's actually city agencies that are going in the building and not the tenant organizations.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.